All right, what grade would you give the Orlando Magic?
I think the Orlando Magic give an A. First of all, they made things spicy for everybody because we had no idea that this was happening. I don't know what the smoke screen was for because they had the number 1 overall pick. John Hollinger said there was, maybe some hesitation trying to figure out if they could do a trade, get more picks, and still get their guy. But they took Paolo Banchero, number 1 overall, and out of Duke. They reportedly never hosted him for a workout. They didn't speak to him until Monday. So this was really a surprise, I think, even to Paolo, who found out right before he was drafted. And it's the 13th consecutive year a freshman has been taken number 1 overall. He's a young guy, big NBA body. You can see him standing there next to Adam Silver. He is 6'10", 255. So he's going to put on a little bit more weight and a little bit more size, but he's ready to go right now. He was the lead scorer for Duke this year. I feel good about it. They also took Caleb Houston from Michigan in the second round, forward out of Michigan. So love their young core. They're still a little bit of ways away, but they have a really nice, young, talented core. So good pick for the Magic.
What grade would you give the Oklahoma City Thunder?
The Thunder get an A as well. The Thunder are actually a really good drafting team. They have had some down years, but they're a really good drafting team. They took Chet Holmgren, number 2 overall in the first round. He was the most debated player in this draft. Very, very, very thin frame. So everyone is expecting him to put on some more weight, but John made a good point earlier as well. He doesn't really have the frame to put on much more weight, so we'll see how his body develops. He is a great scorer. He has unbelievable skills for his size. And he's a two-way player. He's great on defense. His coach said he is a really tough kid on top of that. They also got Ousmane Dieng out of France with the number 11 pick, and Jalen Williams out of Santa Clara, and Jalen Williams out of Arkansas. But I like their picks. Their young core. They have, I forget where I put the note, but I think they have like 15 first-round picks over the next few years. They have a lot of picks. So they're going to be young for a while. Hopefully they develop their players, and in a few years they will be very viable.
What grade do you give the Houston Rockets?
I told you I'm a pushover grader. So the Houston Rockets get an A too. Also, I don't want to come out here and roast anybody and then, 10 years from now they're like first ballot Hall of Famers and I look like an idiot. Also, who knows how this is going to develop into? We really don't know. I'm not going to be that hard of a grader. Jabari Smith Jr. did go to the Houston Rockets. Now, he was projected to go number 1 overall. We thought he was the consensus number 1 overall pick before Paolo went number 1. And Chet was sort of slotted for OKC, which I think is a great space for Chet. So Houston gets Jabari Smith Jr., which is huge for them. They also took Tari Eason out of LSU and Ty Washington out of Kentucky. He was the highest drafted player in Auburn history, was Jabari Smith Jr. He's a sharp shooting forward. He should pair well with Jalen Green, who was the number 2 overall pick last year. So they have a very young core. And they traded Christian Wood to the Mavericks this offseason. This is a good fit for them. And kind of a steal, considering that he was supposed to go number 1 overall. So they get an A.
What grade do you give the Golden State Warriors?
A+.
A+ for the champions.
Here's why. Everything the Golden State Warriors do is great. So they are an unbelievable development team. They make great choices. That's why they're our current dynasty. They get an A+. They got Patrick Baldwin Jr. from Milwaukee, round 1, pick number 28. Ryan Hollins out of Toledo. And Gui Santos from Brazil in round 2. I just trust everything the Warriors do. I don't have any questions for them. Whatever you do, I believe in. They've earned that right.
What grade do you give the Los Angeles Lakers?
I'm going to be a little more hostile now. I'm going to give them a B. They got Max Christie out of Michigan State. He's actually a nice player. He's 19. He's very, very young, but they have one of the oldest roster in the NBA. So, he has a lot of potential to develop. They needed a draft pick, so this was a last-minute thing, which is why I would give them a B. It was very frantic and last-minute, this move. But I like that they did get a draft pick. They desperately needed one. And they have a lot more work to do, but Max Christie is going to learn from LeBron. So there you go. You got that going for you.
What grade do you give your Miami Heat?
I'm also going to be a good Heat fan, and I'm going to say a B. I was kind of shook for a second because I saw the pick. I was like, what is happening here? It's Nikola Jovic, not Jokic, Jovic out of Serbia. He is a forward. He's an impressive scorer. I like the scoring part of it because obviously that is what we struggled with. The Miami Heat struggled with in the postseason. So they get a B.
And last, what do you give the New York Knicks?
The New York Knicks are always a topic of conversation during the draft. But the booing wasn't as aggressive as been in years past. They get an incomplete. They got Trevor Keels from Duke in round 2. They made a lot of moves last night. Traded the number 11 pick, Ousmane Dieng, to Thunder for 3 first-round picks. So they made some crazy moves. New York Knicks get an incomplete.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.